It's a disgrace that we cannot manufacture what we consume. And we believe we are human beings. They have no respect for us. I have said this many times. There is no country in the world that was industrialized by foreigners. Nearly half of the Palestinians are Christians. They believe in Jesus, but the power of prayer could not save them when the bombs started falling. We have the gas. That is the advantage that Nigeria has over all other countries. Enough gas and enough population. The Chinese are planning for 50 years, 100 years. We don't even plan anymore because after one election, we are thinking of the next election. Right now, you have Lebanese, Indians, Chinese taking over all our infrastructure because you said Nigerians cannot do it. I cannot go to Lebanon and open a franchise to sell Coca-Cola. They will never give it to me. They come here with a very small, tiny economy and they dominate us because we give them the advantage. So far, we as black people have not been able to prove that we can manage ourselves. We have the talent. Where is the leadership? Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Caesar Usaheni Iyayi. I am your advocate for the industrial development and industrial manufacturing of Africa and the industrial manufacturing to begin here in Nigeria. Today, I am still going to continue on the same trajectory, but I want to use what happened to the Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank and what happened to Iran and Hezbollah as a reference. I will also want to link that to what happened to us in the past, where the British and other countries came here to colonize us. They did that because they had the industrial might. Israel today, as we speak, in 2025 October, has finally subdued Hamas in Gaza. How did they do that? Did they do that by prayer? No. Did they do that by miracle? No. They did that with the power of industrial manufacturing led by science, scientific development. And that is what I have been advocating for our leaders to embrace in Africa and in Nigeria. It appears people in Africa cannot really comprehend the very essence of my message. I want to make it clear that there is no country in the world that can survive because of the mercy of other countries. If that were true, you would have seen many countries as they have problems, whether it's America or France, they will run to their rescue, but they don't. Every country is trying to defend its own interest. Who is to defend the interests of Africa? It is Africans. We are under the illusion that if we just depend on the West, they will manufacture all the finished products and bring to us. Now, China is the industrial capital of the world. They manufacture everything and they bring to us to consume in Africa. If we continue in this way, we will capitulate like Hamas just did. Those that are Christians like me, I want to ask you a question, even the Muslims. The people of Palestine, are they closer to us religiously than the Jews? Are the Jews closer to us religiously than the Palestinians? If you are a Christian, I want you to know that the Jews do not believe in Jesus Christ. They believe in the Torah and what we refer to as the Old Testament. They do not accept Jesus Christ as a Messiah, as their Savior. They see him just as ordinary human being. I want to shock you that nearly half of the Palestinians are Christians. They believe in Jesus, but the power of prayer could not save them when the bombs started falling. What's changed everything in favor of Israel is military technology. And they didn't do that by reading the Old Testament or the Torah. I'm saying this because it appears that black people believe that when they succumb to religion, when they submit themselves to prayer, when they mention the name of Jesus, their problems will be solved. Our problems have never been solved in that way, and it will never be solved. Because even God is very much aware that He has given us the intelligence to go and use the intelligence He gave to us to subdue the earth through science and development. I have said this many times, that there is no country in the world that was industrialized by foreigners. Today, all over Africa, you have the Chinese and the Indians taking over all the factories. In fact, the few factories that are owned by Nigerians are being pursued for various reasons. Whereas the ones owned by Chinese, they pollute the environment. They are allowed to work. If they have any problem, they'll make a call from Beijing to Abuja or anywhere, and they are allowed to work. We were in the quarry industry. They chased us out because their government will give them money. Go to Africa. Go into all the various sectors. If you need money, we'll give you more money. Dominate the economy. Today, we are being dominated. And why can't we do what the Chinese did? Why can't we just encourage our Nigerian entrepreneurs to venture into industrial manufacturing with the support of government, so that within a short period, you will see that Nigeria will start manufacturing many things that we import, and that will be the turning point. Because right now, we import everything that we consume. There is no country that can grow in that manner by selling only commodities, selling cocoa, selling cashew, selling oil and gas. Those are commodities. I did a podcast not long ago where I talked about braces. How you take 1 ton of braces and you convert it to $5 million worth of value. Nobody is listening. Everybody ought to pay attention. Attention, because this is the way forward for Africa. We have a short window, and the window will be closed very soon, because the Chinese are beginning to expand their technology. They are beginning to increase their ability to manufacture finished products. They are beginning to close the gap between them and the United States. Very soon, they'll be so powerful that the US cannot stop them from taking over Africa. That is their plan. They want to take over Africa. They are not here for the resources. They are here to stay. The only people that can stop them is Africans, by engaging in industrial manufacturing. I said it before, it is no rocket science. Get some Nigerians to sit down with government, draw a blueprint, make a plan. The Chinese are planning for 50 years, 100 years, 150 years, 200 years. We don't even plan anymore, because after one election, we are thinking of the next election. Election is taking away all the attention that we could have put into industrial development, taking it away from us. We don't need any election. We don't need democracy. The Chinese don't practice it, and they're number 2 in the world. They sit down, have one party. Why can't we have one party, for Christ's sake? Why do we have to waste resources to do election? I did a podcast where I mentioned that when you add the money for INEC, the money for gubernatorial election, the money for senatorial election, the money for National Assembly and State Assembly, we are spending over maybe up to 1 trillion naira on just an election. That money could be put into industrial manufacturing, and you see results where things that we used to import, we start manufacturing. If we can do that, you can't do everything once. You start from a point. If you can start, just sit down. Let's sit down together and pick 4, 5, 6 different products. Bring in the machinery. We'll bring in the plants that within 6 months can generate enough power to power the machinery, because we have the gas. That is the advantage that Nigeria has over all other countries. Enough gas and enough population. Enough people with enough effervescence, enough energy to work. If you bring those machinery here, what you now need are the expatriates. All these things can happen within 1 calendar year. Not like when you are building a big, huge plant to generate power. That can take 6 years. And you only have 4 years to serve. So you don't have time for that. But if you know that you can put up a plant to generate even 1,000 megawatts within a period of 9 months. You can bring in machinery that can manufacture different things, and the expatriates that will do it and teach us how to do it. You will see that within 2-3 years, people will be begging you that you should stay. We don't want you to leave. We want you to do another election. We might even be begging you that you should start a process where you have a one-party system. So whoever is able to do that can stay throughout his lifetime. We don't need to be changing people every day. It's not a matter of inheritance, that after your term, it's my turn. We need people who know what to do to be in power. When we have people who know what to do, they are in power. You don't need to be doing election. So you can focus your energy on how to develop Africa, how to get Nigerians to be manufacturing what we consume. It's a disgrace that we cannot manufacture what we consume. And we believe we are human beings. They have no respect for us. They don't. They pretend. They know that we don't want anything. They know that we are at their mercy. Why should we be at their mercy? The Chinese, 50 years ago, were at the mercy of the West. Because their entrepreneurs were very greedy. They said, oh, we can do outsourcing. So they took their machinery and their factories to China. 40 years later, the Chinese copied all the technology. And they are now giving America the chase in industrial manufacturing and in military weaponry. All this happened within a period of 40 years. We can do it here in Africa in 20 years because we can see what the Chinese did. If you get lost in the bush, eat what the monkey eats and you survive. All we need to do now is to copy what the Chinese did. Look at Rwanda. Kigane has been there now for some years. What will happen to Rwanda by the time Kigane leaves? One rogue will come there and disorganize everything that he did. Well, he has been able to clean the streets. He has been able to assemble some computers, import some electric vehicles and assemble them. That's the best he could do. But Rwanda is not Nigeria. Nigeria is a giant of Africa. On paper, let us make that happen in reality. Because if Kigane leaves now and somebody else takes over, they'll go back in time. If President Xi leaves China, they continue to prepare forward because they have the best and brightest people in their Communist Party. Only one party. They decide who's going to rule, and anybody that rules is already well qualified to do the program that will prepare Chinese into leadership. When Trump leaves America in about 2.5 years or so, America will go backwards again because America is divided. Democracy is the worst form of government. Democracy is what will lead to the implosion of America. That is the advantage that China has over America. Britain is going to suffer the same fate. Today, there are some parts of Britain that only Arabs dominate. Even the British can't even go there. Whereas, you cannot find anywhere in Saudi Arabia where Christians dominate. You cannot find anywhere in UAE where Christians dominate. You cannot find anywhere in Iran where Christians dominate. But in the name of democracy, we allow people from outside to move in mass into Britain, into America, without sharing their values. America was built by people that came from Western Europe. People say black people are building America. I say, how? If black people can build America, why can't black people build Africa? Black people can work in America under the leadership of white people. So far, we as black people have not been able to prove that we can manage ourselves. We have the talent. Where is the leadership? That is the challenge. If you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Prove yourself right. I'll be very happy. I'll be the happiest person in the world to see that I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, because if I'm wrong and you are right, then Africa will move forward. If you believe that we as Africans, just the way I believe that we can get things right if we start industrial manufacturing, if you believe that, start it. Support Nigerian entrepreneurs. Support industrialization in Africa, in Nigeria. It's not difficult. Sit down, draw a plan, say we want to start manufacturing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products. We want to make sure that in another 4, 5 years, we are self-sufficient in this product so that we will spend our foreign exchange to import those things. By the time we do that, you will see that the value of our currency will start rising. People that work in America, that are Nigerians or Ghanaians or from Zambia or Cameroon, they go back with dollar in their pocket and they multiply it by the exchange rate, they have a lot of money. People that work in Nigeria, they are earning naira, they are working as hard as people in America. So the advantage is the devaluation. If you can get industries to work here in Nigeria, you will see that the economy will expand. We are talking of tax. The economy of Nigeria is about, at this point now, about $290 or $250 billion. 5 years ago, it was 400. What happened? Devaluation. If we can start manufacturing things here, you see that the economy will expand. When the economy expands, instead of taxing an economy of 250 billion, you see that within 3, 4, 5 years, we're not talking about an economy of about 2 trillion. So it is better for you to work and tax an economy of $2 trillion than $200 billion. It's a huge monumental difference. And it's all record science. With all the resources that we have, with the people that we have, we are in a position to lead Africa. We are in a position to be in the top 10 economy in the world. What is stopping us is that we don't believe in ourselves. I'm challenging everybody in government, whether in the position of governor or president. Take the bull by the horns. Right now you have Lebanese, Indians, Chinese taking over all our infrastructure because you said Nigerians cannot do it. I challenge you that we can. Why can't we start something very small? You have the Chinese working somewhere. Give Nigeria a chance also. Start something. There are some credible people that are Nigerians that are here that can get things done. Stop drawing us backwards and giving people advantage in our own country. I cannot go to India and even sell Coke. I cannot go to Lebanon and open a franchise to sell Coca-Cola. They will never give it to me. They come here with a very small, tiny economy and they dominate us because we give them the advantage. Why are Nigerian leaders afraid of Nigerian entrepreneurs? 2 reasons I see. I can only mention one. The other one I can't talk about. One of the reasons is that when you empower Nigerians, they have money in their pocket, so they start challenging you for your position in authority. They want to become the governor. They want to become the president. They forgot who made them. That is why I said, let us start thinking about how we can have a one-party system. So that party, there will be no election outside. Within the party, you decide who will be president or who will be governor. So you don't be under any threat. In China, regardless of how rich you are, you can't challenge the government because government is the one that supported you to become rich. So when that doubt is removed, you will now be willing to support Nigerian entrepreneurs because they can't threaten your office as a president or as a governor. I'm making that suggestion because I know why Nigerian leaders don't support Nigerian entrepreneurs. That is one of the reasons. The other ones I don't want to talk about. But if we take this step, we will be in a position where we can really start developing Nigeria. Because all the foreigners you see here, they are only interested in making profits and put more pressure on the naira. Imagine somebody has $100 million with him. He wants to take the money back to China or to India. Where does he go to? Because he has naira with him. He has naira. He doesn't want naira. So he goes to the foreign exchange market, to the black market. I want to buy dollars. What does that do? That put pressure on the naira, and the naira is devalued so that they can get their $100 million they can send to their country. But if that business is controlled by a Nigerian with his children here in Nigeria, he doesn't have any need to take the money elsewhere because it will get to a certain stage where everything that we need, we can manufacture ourselves. That is the way forward. Otherwise, Africa is doomed. If you fail to do that, God has given you opportunity to serve. You are not the best in Nigeria, but God gave you the opportunity. Use that opportunity as a president or as a governor to say, in my own time, I was able to change the trajectory. I was able to bring about the industrial development in Africa and industrial development in Nigeria. I see what Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. I said it before. He's making efforts, but it's a country that is landlocked with limited resources. If they don't go into a one-party system, eventually somebody will remove him from there and a rogue person will come in and drag them backwards. You saw what happened to Thomas Sankara when he was there, and then Blaise Compaoré came in and destroyed the country. It took over 30, 40 years before Traore came now. That is serendipity. We don't want this to happen by chance or by luck. We want this to happen because we plan it to be so. So my challenge as I close this presentation is that African government, Nigerian government in particular, should sit down, draw a blueprint, get some of us to sit down with you and arrange how we can start industrialization. I've said it. 1, government support. 2, access to that gas to use it free of charge. 3, bring in the machinery to manufacture various things. 4, bring in the expatriates that will show us how to make the best products. After 2-3 years, we'll copy exactly what they can do, and from there we are moving forward in various aspects. Once it starts, it is a chain reaction that nobody can stop. I remain your advocate for the industrial development of Africa to begin from Nigeria. My name is Dr. Caesar Osaheni Iyayi. Until next time, goodbye. It's a disgrace that we cannot manufacture what we consume and we believe we are human beings. They have no respect for us. I have said this many times. There is no country in the world that was industrialized by foreigners. Nearly half of the Palestinians are Christians. They believe in Jesus, but the power of prayer could not save them when the bombs started falling. We have the gas. That is the advantage that Nigeria has over all other countries. Enough gas and enough population. The Chinese are planning for 50 years, 100 years. We don't even plan anymore because after one election, we are thinking of the next election. Right now, you have Lebanese, Indians, Chinese taking over all our infrastructure because you said Nigerians cannot do it. I cannot go to Lebanon and open a franchise to sell Coca-Cola. They will never give it to me. They come here with a very small, tiny economy and they dominate us because we give them the advantage. So far, we as black people have not been able to prove that we can manage ourselves. We have the talent. Where is the leadership?